Hello everyone and welcome to Module 4. We have a debrief video about integrated skill tests where we are going to analyze one of the examples that you have studied. In this video, we are going to consider the three criteria related to designing integrated skill tests. First, we need to check for the content and the building blocks if we are addressing the skills that we need, if we have a section for listening, a section for reading, and a section for language use. Also, we will check some examples about how to integrate productive skills in the test. Second, we will take into account how we can link and connect the content of the syllabus to the test. And number 3, we will look at the different specifications of the test so that we can guarantee it is valid, reliable, it's clear, it has instructions and examples that will help the student to accomplish the task in the way we expect him to do. To begin with, let's look at the following table. We are going to analyze a pre-A1 sample text and what is the syllabus correlation for this exam. If we look at the unit number 1, we have a specific vocabulary, grammar and functions, and the core skills that the syllabus proposes for this unit. And also, we will see Unit 2 with specific vocabulary, grammar, functions, and the core skills. We are taking into account 2 units to create this exam, and remember that we cannot include all the content. What we have to do is we need to prioritize into those parts that represent or that integrate more skills and more functions. So let's go into the exam to look at the first part. Number 1. We have the listening section. As you can see, we have 5 questions for a pre-A1 level, and as you can see, we are given an example. We have provided directions, and besides the directions, we are providing examples. Why? Because sometimes students are nervous about the exam, and they read the instructions, and even though they don't understand them, they don't feel like doing the test, and for that reason, what they have to do is to look at the example so that they have a clear idea of what we have to do or what they are expected to do. Second, we know that we are addressing some knowledge here, some content as numbers, the alphabet, personal information, and what skills are students integrating here. They need to show that they understand short, very simple questions and statements about personal information, provided that they are delivered slowly and clearly. If we continue, let's go to the reading section. As you can see, since this is a pre-A1 test, it is short, it is adapted according to what the student can read, and the task represents just the identification of information so that the student can complete the table and later a short analysis deciding between true or false. In this case, again, we are providing directions and we are providing an example. Number 2, the text is adapted to the student's level, and the student's task is to complete tables and to answer true and false questions. Remember that skills that we are trying to show is that the student understands the simple informational material that consists of familiar words related to single-step directions and instructions. So in this part, the reading section is addressing both the content and applying it to skills so that the student can show he can understand written input. Then we have the language use section, which is divided into 2 parts. The first part is grammar, and grammar we have part A and part B. In the first part, students have to use the prompts to reorganize the sentences, and as they are reorganizing the sentences, they are creating them in full form so that they can prove that they are understanding how to integrate grammar with vocabulary. Also, in second part, we are looking for students to select from multiple choices, in this case 2 choices, the correct answer. The grammar structures are correlated to the content of the syllabus being evaluated, and they are adapted to the student's level. For example, if in Unit 1 We are not checking negative statements. We are not including negative statements in this exam. What we are doing is we are following the framework of grammar structures of the two units that we are evaluating. Of course, as you move on in the tests, you have to check for language in an overall way. So you are checking the grammar you have recently studied and how this is integrating with the structures you previously studied in the units or levels that you taught before. And we have the vocabulary section. In this case, students have to look for to find a relationship by connecting existing vocabulary to pictures and discriminate plural and singular nouns. And at this point, what we are looking is if they can identify and can match words with the corresponding pictures. And finally, we have a writing section in which we are providing the instructions and a space. Since this is a pre-A1 level, what we are doing is that we are providing them the ability to complete a form, because according to the can-do statements, they can produce single isolated phrases. So, for example, filling a form is a type of real-life occupational writing piece that students can work on. Remember, as you make progress, you will need to increase the complexity of these tasks. So this was the analysis of the sample test for the level pre-A1.